Snooper Thursday! Woo! And we're coming home for the day.
Keeping it close to home. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, Redlands, it's about 15 miles north of us, and it's got a couple of really cool breweries, and one really bad one, but we won't talk about that one.
Well, it's like every city.
Yes.
Don't want to mention names.
Although I think we should, because people might be wondering.
No, let's not do
we're
that.
not gonna do
Because they're really not
No,
wondering.
let's not do that.
I think that the brewery most people are familiar with is Hangar 24.
They're the Inland Empire's like big player, really, and they
Right.
actually, they get around. I'm not sure how many states they're distributed in, but they're branching.
They kind of opened up, exploded, and landed all over the United States.
And
so.
they make
I know the
really good beer.
They do.
Yeah, no, they're
Even
good stuff.
their barrel stuff, I think they may be underrated because they're from the IE, but they're Pukachev's Cobra, and
mind-blowing.
they're
Right.
Hammerhead.
Immelman's whatever is that what's it called
Immelman's, yeah. That's the.
I mean, their special corked basically releases are really good as long as their production or as well as their production beers.
But this week we're going to be at Ritual Brewing Company.
Ritual has been around for a couple years.
Yeah. They've got a really super nice, really huge tasting room.
They really did it the right way.
Yeah,
I think.
it's like it's got a lot of space. You can tell that they're planning for some expansion, but for the meantime, it's
30-barrel brew house starting off.
It's
Hell
like the big Jenga games, and they reclaimed some not pinball, but like bowling alley floors for their tables, which were really cool, and it kind of gives it like a nice community vibe. And wow, that's creepy.
Cross pour.
And
so when I was there, they didn't have pool tables. Now they have pool tables.
no, not pool tables. It's the tables that you sit at to drink. They're reclaimed bowling alley floors.
Yep.
So it looks like you could bowl on it.
Idea. Get some pool tables.
Yeah.
No. I heard pool tables for some
Yeah, no,
reason.
they have Jenga, and they have the typical brewery games, whatnot. So,
Let's cheers this real quick so we can get down on it.
I remember when like they kind of documented their whole brewery building process on Facebook, and it was like wow, you guys are like actually like putting some thought into this
for real. Yeah,
and I know they had investors. Like we talked to a few people here and there that are like, hey, there's this new place coming up, blah, blah. But it wasn't until the open where it was like, yeah, you guys really did this. And
because
they had some really big people.
There was a lot of talk about them for like what, a year before they even opened.
I would say a year.
Pretty considerable amount of time. Yeah.
So they come from some good stock. Owen was originally at BJ's for 20 plus years, and
fucking BJ's, man.
Steve is just a phenomenal home brewer, and Ed is like one of the most intelligent beer people I've ever met in my life.
Ed's an interesting character because he worked for a very, very large distributor in Orange County for a long time.
Ed is basically their salesman.
Ed is their sales guy, but he also he wrote for it wasn't Celebrator. He's done a lot of beer writing like locally.
He's got an amazing palate.
He really does,
and he just knows so much about like he's the one guy like he walks around with a fucking like refractometer when he's at a beer event.
No.
Like
he walks around with a thermometer.
There you go. Yeah, thermometer. Thank you.
Under refractometer.
Yes.
I wonder what the final gravity is of this thing.
Are they lying?
Just checking. Yeah.
Calculations with alcohol.
Yeah.
I can see him doing that though, honestly. But anyway, this is a great beer. This is their Belgian style golden ale. Hellion is apparently Belgian style beers, specifically the golden ales. All are very satanic themed.
Yeah, Duvel really kind of set the precedent for that. And then
devil.
Yeah, and then people like started following up. Like there's Lucifer, there's Inferno,
Muddy.
Lost Abbey. Yeah.
So this is their take,
Yeah.
but it's got West Coast style hops in it. So it's
What did Bill say that this is they go with a satanic theme because it seems like it's a nice pure drink, but it sneaks up and steals your soul.
something like that.
That's a good way of
But
putting it.
honestly, doesn't all beer do that?
True enough.
Yeah.
This
You know what I
stuff
would pair this with?
What's
Golden
that?
Sunshine.
Which is a recommendation from the brewery.
Let's see. Let's
I want to come back to that when we finish talking about beer.
Golden Sunshine.
Golden Sunshine. That's a thing, apparently.
Okay, we're gonna shelf that for now.
This has a really great aroma, though.
It
This
does.
just smells clean.
Yeah.
Just clean and kind of fruity and.
And when a lot of times when I hear people say like, "Oh, this smells fruity," I think, "Well, what kind of fruit do you smell?"
I smell peaches.
Right, and that's the thing with this beer, though, is that like there's a lot of varying different fruits that are going on in here, and so it is kind of okay to go with the generic like this smells fruity.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get peach, I get pear, get a bunch of pear.
Oh, but when you drink it, you definitely get that West Coast style hop influence. It's got a bitterness to it.
Yeah, tangerine on the nose.
It's soft but bitter. It's. I think this is more bitter than I thought it would be.
This stuff is bone dry.
It's only 25 IBUs though.
Yeah.
And 1075 original gravity.
This is super dry.
Yeah, this is very, 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 very dry.
But considering the IBUs for the gravity, I think I'm getting.
Well, the bitterness I think is being amplified by the dryness of the beer.
That's exactly right, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, if this beer, like say this finished out, starting gravity is like what 1075. Say it finished out at like 1004.
It's on the back of the bottle.
Yeah, it's on the back of the bottle. If it finished out at like 1004, which we don't know, then the bitterness is going to pop a lot more than if it finished out
and
at
I'm not gonna
1012 or something like that. Because residual sugar.
That cantaloupe beer I did I just did it. I add the cantaloupe straight to the fermenter, and that cantaloupe just completely dried it out. It finished at 10.4, and that beer started out at like 10.60, we'll say. But it was 45-ish IBUs. But since it got so dry, it almost came off like, well, alcohol-wise and bitterness, it came off like an IPA, like a low-level IPA. Yeah. So you're right. Like when a beer gets that dry, it's like the perceived bitterness is amplified because you have no sugar to combat those bitter hops.
That's exactly it, and that's the thing. If you have like a barley wine or a big imperial stout that's like 100 IPUs, but it doesn't really taste that bitter.
Well, that'll get down to 10-20.
Yeah, exactly. It's because there is so much there that the bitterness is more of a balancing act than it is like really in your face.
Right. When we say 10-20, like we're talking about, just real quick, sugar water ratios. Like water is. We say 10, but water is 1.000. So if this beer finished at 10.4, it's finishing at 1.004. So it's really dry. It's almost like water. There's so much alcohol and so few residual sugars that it's just it comes across. It goes over your tongue and it's gone like that.
And you calculate the ABV by taking the original gravity divided by the final gravity.
Well, there's a formula, but it's in relation to the final and the original.
Yeah, gravity is a measure of density of sugar.
So this is a good point because they do put 1.075 OG on the bottle, and I think the average beer drinker might not know what that is.
Original gangsta.
It's saying that's when you see 1.075, that's kind of a big beer. You know,
pretty solid.
And if they plan to ferment it down as low as this beer is, it's going to give you a nice.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is that it can be a really big alcohol beer. Otherwise, it's going to be a very sweet malty beer. I love breweries that put pairing suggestions on their bottles of beer. That's such a phenomenal idea, and I think everybody should be doing that.
Yep.
So, what does this pair with?
Plays well with roast turkey,
which I can see.
Yeah, triple cream cheese.
Sure.
I don't know. Triple cream cheese. Is that like three things of Philadelphia cream cheese?
Probably like a brie.
Yeah, I was.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is your
nothing
arch
pairs,
nemesis.
Nothing pairs with a brie.
No, actually, I think it does, and I believe you recanted your opinion when you went, "That's amazing."
After doing what did we do?
So
like 8 beers that paired with brie on that
6,
episode? Yeah, it was just like bam.
You got to Google it.
Yeah,
it was a great.
I got owned essentially.
Just Google Anuba Thursday brie cheese.
Yeah. Also, apricot tart, which is my personal favorite. I think that would be wonderful.
I know how you like the tarts.
Yeah, and it also pairs with golden sunshine.
Golden sunshine,
as opposed to gray sunshine.
When I said that, John's like, doesn't every beer pair with golden sunshine? Which is true, because I assume they mean that on a hot day out in the golden sunshine, this is going to be
it really does.
Imperial stout,
or is that actually a beer that you could?
That's exactly what I thought. You're not going to drink Russian. You're not going to drink Black Tuesday in the sun.
I will.
Like, why would you?
Challenge accepted.
That sounds bad, especially if it's hot.
I'd mouth pour it.
Yep.
Just no.
And, by the way, it also says that this beer also plays alone nicely, which is true, which we are enjoying currently. And it also says Ritual calls for serving this beer in a tulip glass, raise some Hellion with friends.
So between the three of us, I have the proper glassware.
These are tulip-ish.
The tulipy.
Tulipi.
They're more geometric tulips.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, those are fine.
Like if
they're
science
too
made
fancy.
tulips as opposed to the Lord Jesus Christ.
too fancy.
Wow.
There's barely a difference.
Well,
our Lord Jesus created these glassware 6,000 years ago.
I'm just saying
created these glassware?
Yes.
I just spoke
I'm speaking ignorance anyway. Does it need to make sense?
All right.
Thank you for watching New Brew Thursday.
So, yeah, until next week, stay safe. And what, Steve?
Drink beer.
All right.
Cheers.